Hello, this is GenXPCGamerGuy. One of the PC games I have been playing a lot in the past 6 months while recovering from surgery is called Satisfactory. I already put a video out with some valuable tips and tricks that I've accumulated playing this game. Look for it on my site if you end up playing this game. This video will first describe the game while displaying basic information and showing actual gameplay. I will follow up to express notable things about the game, including what I liked and what I did not like about different aspects of the game. I will then suggest several improvements and include a basic rating of the game. And finally, I will express any future replay potential. So, let us get started. Satisfactory is an early access, futuristic, automation-style survival game. You are a pioneer explorer for a corporation, which means that you are basically dumped on an unexplored planet, given a limited survival kit, and expected to live and build things to ship back to your employer. It is an early access game, so until the game is more defined, the overall goal is to survive and check out the cool things to build that will improve your situation. Any role-playing aspects of the game seem very TBD at this point. Again, like many survival games, your starting situation is conditionally primitive and dangerous. You will have to manually gather materials and create items. Progress towards higher technology in this game eventually requires machinery to advance research and development of items. Any truly productive automation involves moving items and powering the machines used, like miners, extractors, refineries, constructors, assemblers, smelters, foundries, etc. Like many survival games, you start with the most primitive tools and other gear to help you survive in the short term. The game is not free to play, and there are no downloadable improvements to the game except the frequent patches that come out. And lately, there have been some free holiday-themed patches that pop up in the game on occasion. This game interested me because I was a fan of the survival and factory sim type of games. Also, the look of the game reminds me of a version of a heavily modified Minecraft game, with all the industrial and technological packages, just a lot slicker. Even for an early access game, there are a lot of things to do and many levels of technology to be researched and machines to be deployed. I like that the research and development trees are well mapped out and make sense. Also, how you advance through the technology trees I found to be pretty cool in many ways. For example, super high technology requires building support structures like a space elevator and molecular analyzers to advance to the higher levels. The space elevator looks awesome during its deployment. And once deployed, the space elevator can be seen from almost anywhere on the map. Also, some of the needed items for research and development require deep exploration into the unknown areas of the maps. So, unless you are ready to take on the nastier monsters and/or more dangerous terrain, your advancement will be delayed until you are prepared. The first run-through took me about 150 hours to reach the end of the available tech and reward trees. Normally, I would put the game aside and wait for improvements or completion until playing again. This time, after the first playthrough, I immediately started a new game using the most difficult map and just played to the end again. In the very beginning, the tutorial explains the interface well and tries to set up a more amusing mood for the game. The interface makes sense, and things like maps and compass settings can be customized to include beacons, locations of your vehicles, and significant structures that you may have built at that point. Unfortunately, a lot of the interface niceties have to be researched. After a while, you need to upgrade structures you have built. Upgrading certain items like conveyor belts, conveyor lifts, conveyor mergers, conveyor splitters, and power poles are easy. The game provides a common sense method so you do not have to waste any time improving existing infrastructure by deleting it and then adding the new, like I did for most of the first run through of the game. You can add modification items to machines like factories and power plants that allow overclocking at the cost of more energy or items required per unit produced. Another nicety of the game is that you can stack all item storage bins and fluid buffers. The storage bins are for items only storage and come in several sizes. And conveyor lifts can be used to move items between stacked bins. So it is really up to you how you want to place and store things in the game. I like how the game handles vehicles and other types of transportation. Wheeled vehicles are necessary for exploring the map in unsafe conditions, and can be used to transport items from place to place. For the current version of the game, these are the available vehicle options. Tractor. Truck, which is a larger and has more cargo room than the tractor. The Explorer, which is like a dune buggy and very fun to drive. And trains. Main engine with optional cars for freight and fluids. All wheeled vehicles require fuel. So remember to bring enough fuel or you will get stuck with a long, dangerous walk back to your base. The tractors, trucks, and explorers can be scripted to use an autopilot between the truck stations to transport items. Trains naturally follow a track and require power. It also needs a closed-loop track in order to be automated and move freight or fluids between train stations. Other types of transport are hypertubes, jump pads, and landing pads. Hypertubes are a method of power travel that can be very useful. For example, if you set up a long enough hypertube network, it basically means you can walk away from the keyboard until your character reaches your final destination. Some other items that are not exactly vehicles but helpful at a base are jump pads and landing pads. They basically enable shortcuts for going up or down at your base. The character items that are available are okay, but somewhat limited. For hand weapons, there are the chainsaw, Xeno Zapper, and Xeno Basher. For the ranged weapons, there are just the rebar gun and rifle, both of which require specialized ammo. Then there are the throwable explosives. These can be used to hurt creatures or helpful to clear terrain. Unfortunately, there is not any armor available to help protect your character. There are miscellaneous items to use: portable scanners, blade runners, jetpacks, gas masks, and color guns. The scanners allow you to find resources. Blade runners can be equipped to allow improvements in sprinting, jumping, and landing. Jetpacks allow you to gain altitude and or slow your fall. Gas masks with filters are used for surviving in the deadly gas clouds. And the color gun is used for painting your machines and other items. One other thing the game has going for it is the incentive to get cool or helpful items using the in-game coupons. Thankfully, these coupons are not gathered with real-life cash, but by moving the produced or mined surplus items you might have into the powered Awesome Sink. Different items sent to the Awesome Sink are worth different points towards these coupons. The more sophisticated items in general are worth more points. The next coupon requires more points to get than the previous coupon. You trade in the coupons at the Awesome Store. This was an unexpected good thing to help you have something else to work towards, but using it is not required to advance in the game. Since this game is still early access, I do not want to focus too much on the negative points. Besides, there are not that many outright negatives, and therefore I think the game, on balance, has massively more positive things than negative. With that in mind, some of the annoying things that a player must get used to at this point of development are clearing input problems with the machines when changing recipes, interface glitches. Some settings like user interface resizing do not survive the game restarts, and you need to reset it manually every time. There are no real missions or storylines other than what is part of getting the newer stuff. Gravity only seems to work on the player and fluids. Gravity does not work on building objects. Therefore, like Minecraft, you can leave things hanging in the middle of the air after removing the supports. Or you can build horizontally forever without supports. I admit that I have frequently taken advantage of horizontal building when building train lines above all the troubled terrain. However, the engineer in me just finds this so wrong. Again, nothing that I just mentioned is a major issue and therefore does not detract from enjoying this game. The game has a cooperative mode that I did not take advantage of, so I wish I could tell you how good it or bad it is. Overall, even though the game is still early access, I would rate this game between an 8 and 9 on a scale of 10. I very much enjoyed the game as it is so far in my 2 complete runs. I will replay once major improvements to the game are complete. To date, since I last played, minor improvements and holiday-related changes have been made. Eventually, I hope there is a main storyline mission to match all the good play that this game provides. This is the end of my video review for the PC game Satisfactory. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Or, at the very least, it was informative at some level. I am GenXPCGamerGuy, and thanks a lot for watching my video.
We are just getting started on this site. Please subscribe if you like. Everyone be safe out there. Goodbye.